Hello, hello. So I wanted to come. Okay, number one, it's not my birthday. I just realized that um, my birthday's actually in December, and I'm a slacker that hasn't taken down my birthday decorations in my office. But anyway, um, I wanted to come on, and I'm going to start doing a thing on Fridays that's kind of more about me and kind of more about motivation. I know that I focus a lot on the ketogenic lifestyle and the science behind keto. And if you don't know a lot about me, I spend hours and hours researching this and finding out new science about because there's thousands of research projects going on right now all over the world about the ketogenic diet and how being ketosis can help so many things, so many people that have illnesses that we have just kind of given pills to and expected them to get better when really we're just covering with a band aid instead of addressing the real reason of why people have these illnesses to begin with. And that goes back to nutrition and goes back to, and I started this journey January of last year and have been on a journey to kind of change myself and my family and everything for over a year now. And this past year, a lot of things happened and went on some unexpected changes in what my focus is and maybe what I want to do later. And anyway, and I've enjoyed helping so many of you. And I know that a lot of you message me every day, and I counsel, and I do all of that free of charge. And just because I want everybody to know the benefits of living this lifestyle and not feel so overwhelmed and like it's not a reachable goal. And because it is kind of confusing, and you don't have to be a science nerd like me, who loves, how cellular metabolizations and things like that affect your body. And so I make it easier to understand and say, hey, we can eat yummy food that's kid friendly and whole house friendly and family get together friendly and still enjoy life and be happier and more fulfilled than we thought that we ever could be. So that's just kind of a little bit about me, more on a personal level. But I always want you to know that you can reach out to me. I am on Facebook and you can private message me there. I have a website that I post blogs in all the time, and every blog has I've literally spent hours and hours researching, and I don't take other people's blogs as research. I actually take the legitimate research that has been done on that scientists have actually taken and done these studies on, and I try to translate them in ways that somebody who may not specialize in these fields can understand. And so I take a lot of pride in that, and I try to post those every week. And so you could subscribe to that website. It's fiercebeautyhoik.com, and the H stands for herbalism, obesity, inflammation, and keto. So those are the things that I kind of focus on. And so this week, though, I wanted to talk about a lot of you have started the 21-day plan. And I love seeing your posts of like your food and how much weight y'all are all losing. Like, it's crazy, you know. Welcome to the world of keto, you know. You are blowing my mind. I mean, just really encouraging to me just to know you guys and to see how hard you're working and how much you want to change your life for better. Um, but I wanted to really focus on remembering our why of why we're doing this, because so many times whenever we start maybe a New Year's resolution, we get to kind of it's the 11th of January, and so you may have started to kind of get discouraged and kind of, think like, the weekend's coming up, it's not going to matter. Maybe I'll just go off this weekend. I want you to remember kind of why you're doing this. Um, so this time last year is when we just kind of like cleaned our house of everything, took our kids off ADHD medication, um, took everything that had gluten in it out of our house, and our neighbors really loved us because we just brought over, tubs of food and things. Um, and it is time consuming, and meal prepping I do every weekend, and meal planning, and but I saw this quote that says, "A day well spent sends a week of content." And so that's the way I really look at, like, on Sundays whenever I'm meal prepping for the week. I don't have, if I spend that one day dirtying up my kitchen and using every pot and pan that I have, and cook the meals for my family, then I don't have to, sorry, my computer's buzzing. I don't have to actually do that during the week. So it makes, the cleanup and things like that easy. And I actually get to spend time with my family, which I wasn't before because I was so busy cooking, and then they're eating, and then I'm cleaning, and then we're getting baths. We're doing home, all these things. And so it's really important to stay on track and to remember why you're doing this. Just to kind of brag on my kids a little bit, because they're my why. My family's my why. A lot of you know the story of my family. That my dad has been a diabetic for many, many years, and he is lost a lot of weight and doing great with his insulin, and like hardly takes insulin but anymore. And my mom has lost a lot of weight. My aunts have lost a lot of weight. And so my family's my why, and I want us all to be healthy and happy mentally, physically. I don't want to go through cancer. I don't want to go through diabetes anymore. I don't want my kids to have, not be able to focus. And so Cole came home yesterday, and I have twin 13-year-olds and that are 6'3". But anyway, that's neither here nor there. They're super handsome and super tall. But came home yesterday, and he just had this light about him. And back before Christmas, I found out that they were like eating chicken sandwiches at school. And of course, chicken sandwiches have gluten in them, if you fry them, and you have bread and all this stuff. And I was really disappointed. I was like, guys, and his eczema broke out and everything. And I was like, you just can't do that. I pack your lunch every day. Why are you not eating? And they're like, well, I'm eating that and that. And I'm like, oh my God, you're going to have a tackle box to take to school for lunch. But anyway, so it's been like we spent all Christmas break getting them like completely detoxed off of everything, and like upping their magnesium and their zinc and probiotics and all of this, trying to get him leveled back out. And the past 2 days, man, I have my kid back, and he's happy, and made 100 on a math test, and that's a really big deal, because we have gone from failing ever since they were in first grade, to now, since they've been off of medication, they're doing great in school and making great grades. And it just is about changing your lifestyle and changing what you put in your body, and looking at food as fuel, and knowing what is the right fuel for your body is so important. And so anyway, just a little win, and that's my why. No matter, I get a lot of negative comments, and kind of get bashed all the time, which sometimes I like, because I kind of like the challenge of being able to be like, oh wait, let me tell you this. Let me show you this research article, and you can tell me what you think, because I don't like arguing unless I have science behind it. And my husband can attest to that. He said I'm like a court reporter. I remember everything, and it's true. But sometimes, it can get to you. And so on the plus side, though, yesterday I ran. I got home, and I was a little angry about something, and went out for a run. And so I get home, and Chad's in the driveway, and he's like, what are you doing? I was like, I went for a run. He was like, oh. I was like, so there's that. So I'm the winner out of the deal. But anyway, so just remember why you're doing this. I don't want you to look back and say 3 months, 6 months down the road, man, I wish I would have started. I wish I would have given it a shot. Because ultimately, no matter what your views are on the ketogenic lifestyle, just try it. You're not going to hurt your body. You're not going to harm yourself from eating a certain way. And I have tons of blog posts backed by science research on how fat is so good for your body. So, can we just stop emailing me all the time about how we're all going to die from heart attacks because of fat? Because that's not true. It's not a true statement. Every one of the people that I help, triglyceride levels are low. They are lower than they have ever been. So let's just put that to bed. Anyway, we're moving on. And so I just urge you just to try it. And a lot of you, I mean, I've had hundreds of you that have done the 21-day plan. And I don't do this to make money because I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars living this lifestyle, trying recipes, buying all kinds of weird stuff, psyllium husk and, coconut flour and almond flour, different brands of almond flour, different brands of coconut flour, monk fruit, Lanco, allulose, and erythritol. All of these things. I've bought all of this stuff, thankfully, to the patient, man that I married doesn't mind that I try all this stuff out so that I can help others, so that we can say, hey, don't buy that stuff. It's nasty. Or if you buy that, you're going to have a really bad stomach situation and you don't want that. And so that's kind of why I started this journey, was to make it to be where I could help others in a simple way, so that the mistakes that I have made when trying to make certain breads or whatever, you're not going to do when you're trying. You already know what the great recipes are that taste good. And so that's exciting to me. And I'm excited to see so many of y'all be so excited about your new journey. And so many of y'all have lost a lot of weight already. It's crazy. And I'm excited too that a lot of you are going to be fasting with me in a couple of weeks. And fasting is so important for your body. I'm going to be doing a couple of blogs on that actually, just so that people can kind of understand. Fasting's been around since the dawn of man. It's the longest thing that we have a history of. On how great it is for your body. There's a reason why, most all religions incorporate fasting. And so I'm excited that so many of y'all are going to start that with me. And you're going to be amazed at how great your body's going to feel, how higher your metabolism is going to be, and how deeper in ketosis you can get. So I'm looking forward to that. I wanted to let you know kind of also, a couple of y'all, not a couple, a lot of you have started on January the 1st doing the 21-day plan. And so I kind of wanted, with now that you've been doing it for a little bit, to kind of know what to expect. Your first, whenever you start doing the ketogenic lifestyle, you'll notice, that you probably maybe have had some headaches and things like that. Hopefully you've been drinking your pickle juice whenever you start to get those headaches, because it's probably your salt is a little bit low. And use iodine salt. I know a lot of people say, oh, well, sea salt or pink salt, things like that. A lot of us are iodine deficient, and so I keep iodine packets of salt, and if I start to kind of get a little headache or something like that, I'll just take one, and learn that from a fellow marathon runner, that they do that. But anyway, so if you start to get a little bit of a headache, do that. And if you're having weird cravings, especially like sweet cravings, things like that, you probably need to up your fat a little bit more. Or if you're feeling hungry a lot, you can't do your 16-8 maybe fast, because y'all are all fixing to start doing that, incorporating fasting into your week. Then you probably need to up your fat. And you can do that with MCT oil, do a bulletproof coffee, Um, uh, Add a little bit of butter in there. Add butter where you can. Make sure that you're using a good quality butter. I use Kerrygold, which is a grass-fed butter, and I love steak, y'all. I've been having like this crazy craving for steak all the time, and I love putting like a garlic butter on top of a really fatty steak. I hate to admit that, but anyway, who would ever thought that we would be saying that? But I need like a shirt that says like fatty steak and butter or something. No, I'm just kidding. I would totally never wear that. But I am really excited. Yesterday I bought this shirt and it's called The Brain. It says The Brain Maker on it. If you follow Ryan Lowry, he is doing this kind of initiative to get people to be more aware that the ketogenic diet is not just for fat loss. Like in my family, we do it for mental health. We do it, to combat ADHD. And it's so great if you have PTSD or depression, anxiety, migraines, brain trauma. All of these things people are not really looking at. And if you have one of these, you know, illnesses, then people aren't really looking at the ketogenic lifestyle as helping it. And it does, and the studies are there. There's a lot of studies now on autism that are fascinating. And if you've ever read any of Dr. Perlmutter's books, I recommend you log on to his website. He has some really great information now about the ketogenic diet, and the link between that and autism and Alzheimer's and things like that. He has some really great resources on his website. But if you haven't read The Grain Brain or The Brain Maker, I do recommend those books. They're fantastic. And they'll just give you that bump that you need. Like if you're feeling really down, I spend hours a week. Like right now, I just got finished watching a podcast or listening to a podcast. And I get so much information. And you feel... just put your focus right, like right where it needs to be. So I encourage you, whether it's a motivational thing, if you're driving to work, flip on some podcasts and listen to them, or click on YouTube and listen in your car to, Thomas DeLauer or Ron Lowry or, some of these people that are geniuses in their field of study, and just learn from them and get that motivation, because just to get your mind right and your body centered on what your focus needs to be is so important, especially right now whenever you're beginning your journey. But anyway, so I just wanted to come on and kind of hit a couple things. I don't want this to be too long. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can email me even. My email is fiercebeautyhoik@gmail.com. Make sure to click subscribe to these so that you get any time that I go live. And then you can become part of my keto group on Facebook. It's called Fierce Beauty Prove It, PRUVIT, every day. And feel free to ask me anything that you need. And I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. Happy prepping. Buy metal pans. They save your life. Foil pans. They save your life. Paper plates. If that's your jam, if you have 5 people in your house like I do. But I hope that you have a blessed weekend and have a wonderful week next week. Bye, guys.